a few days ago.
I'm sure they'll be back.
Yeah, sure. Are you?
Yes.
Because you
I'm
haven't
sure.
been back since you won the competition once a very long time ago.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be back.
Are you sure?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Ato wasn't up here. He is not that yet, so there's
Yeah,
not much I
but
can say.
I mean, there's we've won it 5 times. We are going for our 6th trophy, hopefully on Thursday. And over the last few years, we've had a lot of, I guess, losses. That's a lot of Odadia we're not happy about.
You guess lost.
But I mean, personally, I think it's great that the National Science and Maths is such a big deal in Ghana, because I mean, for us as Ghana Think, our Junior Camp Ghana program is a partner for National Science and Maths Quiz. So we love how big it is. We love the kind of attention it gets. And it's still very educational, I think at the end of the day. So I think, it's great that people take it very seriously, and especially that people want to see their schools do well. So you have a lot of, not all the alumni, but some of the alumni actually invest in ensuring that their schools do well. And in a roundabout way, because people are worried about getting trolled or getting teased and, getting
like how
laughed
Doc
at.
is trying to avoid this morning. I mean,
Because people are very worried about that. They troll other schools, so they don't want to be trolled. Some people are actually investing in ensuring that their schools do well. And for me, I think that's the best thing about all of this that's happening. So
I can take that response from you because I can't laugh at you this morning. I mean,
no, but I mean, there were times that, and I think the other thing I wanted to say is, even though the National Science and Maths Quiz is very big, for me as an Odadia, there's so many other things that happen within high school systems that it's not just National Science and Maths Quiz. So if we are winning, if Presec is winning the MTN Apps Challenge, if we are winning robotics challenges, we are winning debates, I'm still happy, because for me it's not just about winning NSMQ every year. I want to see versatility in our students. I want to see that we can do more than just chew and pour. I want to see more. I want to see that we can do more, right? So for me personally, I'm not too worried about losses if we are doing well in other things.
it's true. It's true. That's why Boche left it for Glasgow.
They left it. No, but I really think that we were talking about this at church on Sunday, and I really think that at least the fact that parents are investing more and focusing more, if there's any more attention coming in that affects the academics for these students, it's just a good thing. Yeah. It's only positive. So,
I told Dr. Elsie Kaufman this when she came in studio just before the competition began. I was so excited by the fact that there's a direct correlation between getting questions right and getting money. Which is what the kids do when they get into their money zone. I was just excited that you are rewarded with cash for knowing science. And I think it's a very important ethic to teach. What do you think?
Yes, I think that if this is a realization of things that they want to do, they may not have had cash for. And so they're being rewarded to be able to empower and do things that I always wanted to do, but I was never paid for just because I know something. I think it's great feedback, for sure.
It's great. It's great. Now, of course, in case you didn't know, Dr. Nefertiti Poplampo is a learning science and performance specialist. And Ato Osunapia, as he already let on there, he's the head of Ghana Think Foundation, director of Ghana Think Foundation. He's an entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, consultant, blogger, and a number of other things, which if I were to finish reading, we won't finish now. Okay, so I know that there are a number of things that you wanted to talk about, but I want to cheat with you, Ato, because we started a conversation on Twitter when you went to speak at NSMQ about how kids are taught in school and about how technology should be introduced to enable learning. I just want to give you a minute to highlight that for me, because I think it was a very important point.
Yeah, so we were talking about whether we should allow mobile phones to be used in school. And, those who are against it normally say, distractions, they're going to be distracted, they're going to go online and do different things. But I think sometimes we have to give people the opportunity to show that they can do better. And an example I gave is in places where people are worried about what people will do online, they block websites. Right? They can say, you have access to the internet, but you can't go to Facebook. You can't go to Twitter. You can't go to Instagram. You can only go to websites that we want you to go to. And I think the other thing, too, is also just being left behind. Different, jurisdictions or different countries are trying to do a lot for their youth. They are trying to do a lot for the future of their country. And I think if we keep on, playing the card of we are trying to discipline people, It's not even discipline. I think it's another word. We are trying to control people doing this and doing that. I think, we are kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. So I think we should, and because I think another word I used was also maturity, right? That we should also be able to help get people to be more mature and make better decisions with what they have. So for me, I think, we should be able to find ways to get devices, maybe not mobile phones, devices into schools so that students can use them to learn and just become better, Yeah.
Doc, I don't know where your thoughts are on this one.
As far as using
technology in schools are concerned.
So interestingly, there was a conversation that I had over the last few days with some elderly academicians, and they asked me, this classroom challenge of these young people having these tablets and phones, etc., in the classroom.
But which schools though? Because we don't allow them.
So
they might be private schools.
Oh yes, definitely. And well, on the higher education level. Yeah. And they were asking me, so how do you think about or manage those things? And I think my response was, I would be one of those students because I believe in empowering learners within their space to do the things that they need to do. And together with that, add on their learning, and you get different outcomes when you have a full learner who's doing everything that they think to do, as well as taking in the information that they're learning meaningfully into the same structure. So I think that, the use of technology, etc., is really vital. This is where we are going with learning. Even the way people learn. I've had, over the years that I've taught or higher education, I've had some of our old guard who have problems with students who say things like, I learn by video better, or I learn, on YouTube, I learn. And they were like, how can they say that? They have to only read, or, that's how we learn, we read. And I was like, well, the truth is, any of those ways are working now, and some of them are working even better. So I think we all need to be able to think outside of that box.
Of course, there's a danger, and I'm bringing it to one of the issues that you want to talk about this morning, Doc, because there's a danger with running away from regulation by banning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So instead of regulating, we ban.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's a tendency in Ghana, isn't it?
Yes. And that's why, we just talked about it being meaningful, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the best ways anyone learns is by relevance. Your brain holds on to information a different way because it means something to you. So if you can maintain for the person who's learning, this is why this shouldn't be here. And the only reason I'm saying it shouldn't be here is to ensure a better learning environment. Anything up until that point, if you are not spoiling the learning environment, we will mind you. As long as you want, whatever you want to do, so that you share the goal with the person and empower them to meet that goal with you. Most people will be perfectly fine to use it up until where they are negatively affecting the learning environment and then stop. And then you let the person to feel free. You too have felt free. And the ban is the worst way to do that, because then you've completely removed the autonomy and you're not empowering the human being.
It's 10 minutes past 9 here on your Super Morning Show in Joy 99.7 FM. Ato Olzin-Appiah is an entrepreneur, consultant, blogger, and director of Ghana Think Foundation. Dr. Nefertiti Poplampo is a learning science and performance specialist, and we are having a conversation about things that bother us. I sort of reached out into one of our posts and brought that up as one of the first issues. But Doc, you also have a few things, particularly about our open spaces and our markets, that you're very uncomfortable about.
Yes. So the big one for me was, coming here, I looked into various ventures that I wanted to partake in and started looking to purchase certain supplies. And I found out that it's not as simple as knowing at which store this thing is sold or which various stores, finding the prices and going to buy. It's almost like you have to have inside information. So there were things I was looking for. I had to ask about 10 people. Then somebody would say, that you can get it at Achimota Market. All right, then you go to Achimota Market, walk around. Do you know where they sell this? And sometimes you have to be lucky. You have to have the picture of the thing properly so that you can show people. One time I went to Medina Market looking for a particular type of barrel. They sent us round. When you get to the story building, 10 left. Then when you get it, went round. When we got to the place where they were supposed to be selling them, the people weren't even there for that day. And I was like, how can I try to find something? And I think of it, Ghanaian merchants need business. And it's so hard to even know. First of all, I don't know you are there. I don't know where you are. I might need exactly what you're selling, but I can't find you. And that was something that really concerned me, as far as just how do we make these markets as easily indexed as maybe somewhere like Melcom.
So is it an issue with those who manage the markets or those who sell the product?
The question as to who would create that sort of cataloging and indexing, referencing, I don't think that's an absolute. Like, you can't say who should do it. The people are trying to sit down and sell. Should they find a way to mark themselves and indicate? Or maybe are there larger organizations who see it as a national responsibility to say, how can we get these markets maybe mapped somehow and allow the vendors to put in on that point on the map what you sell, or even pictures of it, so that we now have a way that somebody on a mobile phone can find these people and see what they are selling. But the question as to whose fault it is very difficult, because everybody is doing their small job. He's selling his thing. Someone too is managing his market. He has his issues every day. So when me as a customer have this problem, whose responsibility is it to solve it?
I think the interesting thing around this is who stands to lose the most when these things happen.
Isn't the vendor?
So I think it's the vendor. You could also argue that it's the person who actually made the product, but by the time it gets to the vendor, they've already made their money. So I feel like the people who make the products probably should be more interested in ensuring this happens. Because so from their side, I think it's being able to have the market want their product more. Because if market can't find it,
yes,
in effect, it affects the person who is like making the product.
Exactly.
And I think the vendor, they just have to be able to balance their books. So I think it's tricky, but I think both of them, have to do something about it. Yeah.
So at the heart of this issue is organization of the space. And normally they should be, because our traditional markets have queens for various products. But how do they develop? How do the spaces grow?
The ones we have here.
Yeah. So when we go to the market and we are buying things, do we go inside the market to the organized space, or we stand by the road to buy the things?
But inside the market, the space is structured but not catalogued or indexed. That's the problem. So even if I go inside, there's no way for me to know where to find what I need. I even mentioned parking. So the difference between there and Melcom, there's a car park, I park. Then I enter. Please, I need so and so. Second floor. When I get to second floor, I look for somebody in a blue shirt. Why? Because the person can tell me on the second floor where to go. So that's the model as far as what is working that we will take over there. So even if inside is at least organized, that they are on rows, how do I find the person? The blue shirt person is not there. There's not a floor that says that when you get to second floor, at least, you find something. The parking lot was not there. That's another thing. Most markets, to go and park, why you'll be in trouble. You might as well just take transport there so that you don't have to think about where you put your car. So, I think a combination of all those things, even inside, it's the same problem. It's inside even that I had this issue. Because outside, at least you can see them.
So if we were to begin, from what I hear you saying, if we were to begin, it will be from the person who stands to lose the most.
Yes, I think that's how you can really drive. Not so much attitudinal. There's attitudinal change, but change that really lasts, right? Whoever, if it's their pain point, and they're able to fix that, then that they have more ownership in fixing that. I think So I think that's how you want to look at addressing such a problem.
16 minutes past 9 here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Thanks for staying with us. Here with Dr. Nefertiti Poplampo and Ato Olsen-Appiah. So we've zoomed into our conversation about other solutions beyond us, where we often just meet on Tuesdays to talk about things that bother us as a country, and most importantly, where the solutions begin. Citizens for Change. We've already started out by talking about the use of mobile phones in senior high schools and, technology enabling education in the first place. And Dr. Nefi brought in the point of organization of our open spaces. Whose responsibility is it to make sure that when you enter Kaneshie, you can find your way to where the Onion people are? Something as simple as that can save so much in terms of time and productivity. And I think it's an important thought to throw out there. Now, the purpose for these conversations is to begin the thought so that you know who to ask and when to ask. We are moving on into other more deep issues. But let me tell you about the Year of Return edition of Panafest 2019. It's going to be on the 24th of July to the 3rd of August, and it's going to be in Cape Coast. There will be a Grand Durbar, Emancipation Day, Trade Expo, keynote panel sessions, musical concerts, art expositions, so much more. The theme is Beyond 400 Years, reaching across continents into the future. So for all these people, when they come back and they go to the markets, they need to find their way to find their way to the best souvenirs. And the journey of 1,000 smiles began 10 years ago, and to celebrate this, MTN is giving away 10 brand new Hyundai cars in the MTN Momo at 10 promo, including the all-new 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe as the grand prize. You could also win other exciting prizes like Samsung Smart TVs, up to 3,000 Ghana cedis in e-cash every month, and so much more. The promo winners will only be called with 0244 300,000. Winners will not be contacted through text message nor be asked to pay any money to redeem their prize. Just dial *120# to check your points. Terms and conditions apply. We did for you everywhere you go. Now, education is one thing Barclays Absa Group Limited never compromises on. Absa invested millions of dollars to educate thousands of students all over the world, all over Africa, including Ghana. In 2017 alone, we prepared over 200,000 students for the workplace through our Ready to Work program. Welcome to Absa Group Limited. Absa proudly serving you in Ghana as Barclays. Now, one way that if we want to push for a solution at all, we can is if we actually took the thing seriously and if we decided not to take it as a joke. But that's a problem we have, isn't it? It's funny you laugh when I say that.
No, I mean laughter is good. Laughter is good. It's I'm not sure laughter is quite the same as jokes, but no. I think definitely, the being able to, and I think. For me, another word around this is ownership, right? That if we tend to own things a bit more, we'll take them a bit more seriously, So I think we are definitely light-hearted people here in Ghana. What I've seen over and I think this is more recent, over the last maybe 3 or 4 years, is how we are even leveraging tragedies for jokes as well, and for me, I think that's when I started to really think about this. How can we be joking about this particular situation? Do you
have an example to enlighten that more?
I think the first one that really comes to mind is the June 3rd, the flooding issue. That one really struck me. I'm like, how can we find a way to make jokes out of this? So I think there's that, and there've been a few that have also happened since. And I think the other side of it is just being serious with our own development, or being serious about developing ourselves. And I think when we don't have too much of a skin in the game for making things happen, and we try to leave things for others, then we are looking at. Then some of these kind of jokes come in because we don't feel invested in the problem, we don't feel invested in the solution. It doesn't really affect us that much, or we are not bothered by it. And I think that's where some of the seriousness also is, right? So if you're not too bothered by it, and then we are even going to get to the part of joking about it, for me, that's just a no-no.
Yes, it's 21 minutes past 9. I want us to stay a bit more on this, because as a radio presenter, whenever I step out and I talk to people about what I do, I find that the younger they are, the less seriously they are taking nation building. And Dr. Poplampo, you work in learning and performance. So I want to know exactly how that translates into the work that you do as well. But stay on that for me when we come back. This is the Super Morning Show. Stay with us.
Daddy, I bet you enjoyed your trip abroad.
Oh, yes. It was worth every peso. And the experience was breathtaking. The beautiful environment, the culture, and the food. Oh, my. Until I got terribly sick.
Perhaps from eating too many new dishes.
But you know, thanks to my Glyco travel insurance policy, all my medical bills were paid for the 3 days that I was on admission.
Really? Glyco travel insurance policy?
Yes, my dear. Glyco travel insurance is the best. Look, it covers medical and emergency services, personal assistance services, emergency return home, personal liability such as legal defense fee, loss of baggage, personal accidents, trip cancellation, or even delayed departure. And even these are the ones I remember off my head.
Yes, Glyco Travel Insurance has a worldwide cover and widely accepted by embassies, both Shenzhen and non-Shenzhen. Visit any of our Glyco offices nationwide or call 020-422-113 or 055-5305-547 for ready assistance from our experienced support team. Be safe, travel protected, and have a peace of mind. Glyco, we cushion you for life.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body, and posture is the window to that spine. Now, posture is affected by your daily activities and habits like sitting. That's why at the Chiropractic and Wellness Centers, we recommend what I believe to be the best chairs available for preventing not only subluxations, but also other health problems that you may not be aware of. And that's Rabami and Mobilex chairs. Unfortunately, on a daily basis, I have to correct the effects of this poor sitting habit in our businessmen and businesswomen. Always remember, optimal spine equals optimum health.
So, for the sake of your health, buy Rabami or Mobilex chairs from Afrodan. We're on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Telephone 663-085.
Catch the soccer feeling and win big with the NASCO Soccer Fever promotion, with so much more excitement on our reduced prices and gifts. From as low as 449 Ghana cedis, you are assured of watching all the live action, the goals, and the tackles on NASCO TVs. Soccer your eyes away with our 43-inch TV at 1,299 Ghana cedis and get a free phone. You can also win a smartphone and a free Bluetooth speaker when you buy any 55 to 65-inch TV. Starting from 699 Ghana cedis, you get a double-door fridge with a free blender and a free kettle when you buy our chest freezer. Ish! NASCO Soccer Fever be a day. Visit any of our showrooms or authorized resellers now. It's the NASCO Soccer Fever promotion. NASCO, bring home happiness.
Solar Tech, the power to protect.
Yes! Solartech, your tried and trusted brand, is your total solution to all power problems, whether low voltage, high voltage, power surges, spikes, brownouts, or what have you. Solartech fully protects your valuable equipment. No matter your appliance, we have the perfect Solartech for you. Choose from my tried and trusted range, such as Fridge Guard, TV Guard, High Volt Guard, Multi Guard, AVS 13, AVS 30, AC Guard, Solartech TV Stab, Solartech Fridge Stab, UPS, and Solartech Voltage Stabilizer. Beware of counterfeit Solartech products. Get your genuine Solartech products today at our Abelinkpe office and all our authorized dealers across the country. Contact us at number 10 Yiwa Street, Abelinkpe, or call 0302-761450 or 0302-775106.
Solartech, the power to protect.
In partnership with Joy FM and National Theatre, Roverman Productions presents an Ebo-wide play titled I Want Your Wife.
You do not fool me, Abner. You don't fool me. You think I did not know that you've always wanted to marry your boy for his money?
And why not? I married you for nothing. I may as well marry your boy for money.
Hey, Abner, when did you get to be like this?
I got to be like this when you sat down in church like an Egyptian mummy that had smoked weed and said nothing when that girl said our marriage was a mistake.
I Want Your Wife shows on the 6th, 7th, 13th, and 14th July 2019. Venue, National Theatre. Rates, 80 Ghana cedis. Time, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Tickets available at Joy FM and all usual outlets. Express. For deliveries, WhatsApp 050-554-6030. Sponsors, Bond Savings and Loans, Crush Fruit Juice, Old Mutual Life Assurance Company Limited, and Passion Air. Media partners, Adum TV, Joy Prime, Joy News, MyJoyOnline.com, Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
Do not improvise an auto gas cylinder. Make sure the auto gas cylinder is properly installed by a qualified technician. Always keep a fire extinguisher handy in case of a fire. Stand at a safe distance and attack the base of the flames. Avoid decanting LPG from one cylinder to the other. Domestic transfer of LPG should be avoided. Cars fitted with auto gas cylinders should be filled at appropriate filling stations. A message from the National Petroleum Authority.
May the odds be in your favor this soccer season for some cool chop from media. This no be bet and hopo. It be definite win. No kululu. Starting from 1,599 Ghana cedis, buy any media AC and get a free fan. Buy a double door fridge for 749 Ghana cedis, chill your drinks and keep your food fresh. And in addition, get a free blender. Cooking just got better with just 649 Ghana cedis for a gas cooker and a free toaster plus so much more. My sister, my brother, the odds are definitely in your favor with Media Soccer promo, affordable prices, and so many gifts. Umpeoya, forget BBR. Visit our showrooms and authorized resellers across Ghana.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
29 minutes past 9 here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. I won't say it again that I don't know where the time went. I won't. I say it every day around 9 o'clock. I won't say it again, but I'm here with Dr. Nefertiti Poplampo. She's a learning science and performance expert, and Ato Olsen-Appiah is a social entrepreneur, consultant, blogger, and director at Ghana Think Foundation. So Ato raised a very important point about us not being serious and joking too much, especially with the most important issues. Doc, you help people learn.
Mm-hmm.
How have you seen this present itself?
I think that the weight that people give things is going to be based on their set of experiences and what has come up to them to be urgent. And especially in our information overload age, which is one of the issues that people have with millennials. They have a lot of information coming through for them. It is how do they filter it and what is important for them to pay attention to. To the extent that one of the main themes of what I teach when I teach about 21st century teaching and learning is that now you are not giving people information. Information is there. Google will handle that part. You don't need it as an educator. You are teaching them how to navigate information and know what is important, what you should pay attention to and what you shouldn't pay attention to. And that's not just for young people, it's for all of us. So I think what we are asking is, for these people, what do they pay attention to instead of what we think is important, right? So they've obviously thought something else is important, and they are paying attention to that thing and not what we have said is important. And do we think that there's a way to convince them to start reading other things or paying attention to other things? And if we can show the impact to them in a clear way, I think they'll start to do it, because that's usually what change management is about, is you start to make meaning of something that someone is not considering meaningful by showing how important it is to them. And once they can see that, they can move over to start paying closer attention to those things.
But on the scale that we are talking about, where do we begin? Because we are talking about a large population.
So I think what we need is examples, right? In most things, you just need good examples to help people follow something, right? So if you can show a lot of good examples of somebody did what you wanted them to do, and they succeeded, people tend to follow that. For instance, if I was just to come back to the high school thing, last weekend when we were going to Adan for Baka Madan, we were having a discussion around how do high school students get influenced, right? And how do you ensure that high school students, pick better information, So if you understand that, a lot of high school students are influenced by other high school students, then how do we ensure that those people that influence them have the best information? Right? So that becomes the surest way to ensure that they are doing the right thing. So I think you always need to be able to find out some examples. You can call them ambassadors, you can call them, influencers. You need to be able to find such people to drive what really needs to get done, and then have them influence, more people to do things. And I think it also depends on what kind of maybe demographic people are in. Right, so maybe for high school students, you need these kinds of influencers. Maybe for market women, you need these kinds of influencers. For university students, you need these kinds of influencers. So I think it's something that we have to intentionally look at and figure out. First, you have to have, so also like gathering information, because you need to be able to know all these examples, right? Because if you want to have the conversation with people about these things and you can't show them, these are the examples, it becomes tough. So you want to be able to just arm yourself with examples. Okay. And for me, that's one thing that I really do. So a lot of times when I'm chatting with people and they're coming to me with problems, I'm just looking at, this is an example for your problem, right? So you are telling me this, but I know this person who does this. So that's the way I solve it for you. So I think we just need to arm ourselves with more examples.
So here's the thing. One big part of the show, Dr. Nefi, is that we want to be able to walk away with something we can do.
Yes.
On a personal level.
Okay.
Listening to what you hear Atu saying now, how can you step out now and make sure that in the space you're in, people take things seriously?
So if I've made the determination that there's something that we all need to be taking more seriously that we're not, then at least within my networks, I can make sure that responsibly, I'm always the person who pipes up and mentions this thing, or maybe even talks about the fact that we're not doing that and how, just like you were saying, giving examples of how it's negatively affecting us that we're not doing it. But I think since we're talking about something so large scale and we are in a position to talk about it like this, we really should be maybe seeding the notion that where large numbers of young people are congregated, can we begin to create this sort of cultural change? Can we make it something that is a part of awareness in schools and curricula, that where we talk about as part of civics or just being a good citizen, that you keep aware and pay attention to what you are processing every day? Are you only looking at, Shatawale or something, or are you, or have you included things that are worthwhile, like the healthy parts of what you intake every day? And maybe we start training that in the schools and making it part of the themes of different courses and different, even parts of ICT. When you take in, information online, how do you process it and how do you make sure it's balanced?
So you're still live on the Super Morning Show. We've gotten to a point where we need to take things seriously, and we've realized that it is because of that we may be having some of the challenges that we are. For instance, if we had taken all the fights about our rights seriously as we did the Drop the Chamber fight, maybe we would have seen more changes in other aspects of society. So maybe it's a little thing for you to think about listening to us at home. How can you begin to take the things seriously? And how do you begin to express that in those spaces? It's 25 minutes to the top of the hour. I'm very, very grateful. I mean, we are not done, but I'm very, very grateful to Ato and Dr. Nefertiti Popelampo for introducing these thoughts here this morning to something a bit more generic now, Dr. Nefi. When you're driving and how we behave.
So I mentioned that in traffic here, I've been away for a long time and I've only been back a few months. So in traffic here, I find myself, I look strange almost if I see someone coming and it looks like a type of situation where I can't necessarily go, I will definitely and immediately stop to let the person in. And I don't think that's a culture here in Ghana. So even...
No, it's not.
No. So
it's not.
Even when it's obvious that you can't go, you still block somebody else from coming, which to me is just... I am speechless. And so I'll be looking at the person who has blocked you. I was like, you're not going. Now you are in the way. I'm looking at your face. You are looking at me. How do you feel? And I think that trying to create systems that let everything flow. I think a lot of what we talk about kind of centers around that. How do we make systems that just work and make things flow? However, on the other side, now we'll always play devil's advocate as a scientist, right? On the other side, I've noticed something else. When you attempt to be fair, like maybe you see like one car from this side, one car from that side. Let me allow one car, then me too, I'll go with another. If you make the mistake of allowing one car, they will all come and pass. So then people also get the notion that this is negative feedback from doing something that would have worked, right? If everybody can cooperate and do it, it would work. But you try it, you get negative feedback. Next time, you do it again. When you see that space, you just go. And I think that collectively, we have to figure out what that looks like to begin to change traffic culture.
When I saw what you said, Ato, have you seen this new innovation in the UK where people remove traffic lights and intersection signals from an intersection?
Hey.
It's an open space. Yeah, they just actually leave it open. Imagine if this was at Akwaje or Dankwa.
Okay, so are you talking about like how, like if you get to the junction
they
first,
actually
you
remove
go
everything.
Yeah.
So there are no signals.
Yeah.
And research has shown that because there's so much space, people are actually just able to get to where they are going quicker.
Yeah. I mean, for me, for traffic, it boils down to a couple of things for me. First, we seem to short-circuit the infrastructure for roads. You know, instead of building things really well, we don't seem to do that. Case in point would be the Ibri-Accra Road.
Okay.
Right? There was one way that, and I remember this clearly, that I remember what the designs were like. But the final product was not what we should have built. You know, so I think that's one thing that we need to fix. I think for me, the other thing some of this is also culture,
yes.
You know. If you can get to the point whereby people would do the right thing, but you have to see more people want to do the right thing. You know, and then for me, the other thing around traffic for me is spot fines. Talking about systems, you know, so we talk about, you know, how do we deal with the problem? You know, having, you know, people who are being indisciplined on the roads, you know, fixing that, things like that. So I still don't understand why we've not implemented spot fines in Ghana. You know, because if the policeman catches you doing something wrong, he would, you know, stop you, come and talk to you, you know. Eventually, you might bribe him or you might go to the police station, have your time wasted. And I don't understand why we can't have a system that just involves spot fines, whereby the person who caught you is rewarded for catching you. Right? So instead of the 1 cedi, 2 cedi, 3 cedi, 20 cedi, 60 cedi that they get, right, they get a cut from the spot fine. I don't understand why this is not easy for us to do as a country.
We are not taking it seriously.
You know, so I don't know if it's design thinking. I mean, obviously, there's a whole bunch of things, but let's not get into that. Why we don't implement good things in Ghana. And I mean, that's on the public sector side, and I don't want to really belabor that point.
The efficiency or lack thereof in that sector. It's interesting. You see, Doc, from what I understand Atutu saying, good regulation would breed good behavior.
But you see what happens in Accra generally. Regulatory, these sorts of things don't work very well. For one, we have a very strong anti-rule culture, right? So the rules are just the official thing on paper. They're not real. What you actually do is this here. So I can imagine that's a few steps away from what we are able to. And then on top of that, you are talking about fining.
What you say is because we are too democratic?
I can't identify the roots of this behavior. I just know that it's very strong.
We are very docile. No, but it's funny because democracy itself is a rule, isn't it?
We don't like doing things that the way it's supposed to be done. It kind of doesn't appeal. You have the way that you do it. That's kind of how, you know, we manage these sorts of things. So I think that would be a tough one to bring in. The second thing that you're saying that would be tough is you're assuming these people can pay a fine. You know how many people you jail simply because they're running off of 1 cedi, 2 cedis a day, and you're asking them for a fine. If they don't have it, what are you going to do? Eventually, what does enforcement look like when you're talking about money? Maybe time is something you can take from someone, force them to do a community service or go and clean up at, you know, Kolegon or something. But that one, you know they have the time. You are just going to take it from somewhere else. But to ask for money in Ghana, somebody is literally every day he's managing his 2 cedis. and it's like you've come for money, and he's not able to help you. So I think that it would be tough to try and use regulation. I think if we can get, like you mentioned, culture, right? I think if we can get the culture for people to begin to see it as part of how we do things. I moved to a different town in the state of Florida some years back, and I noticed they have this campaign, pass it on, like, oh, it's just as easy to let someone in as to, or everybody's trying to go somewhere, courtesy, pass it on, or this, pass it on. And
I read the book on that.
Right?
I read the book on that.
Yes, and they'll have a celebrity up there, that sort of thing. And I think trying to bring some slogans that people can get behind, Ghanaians, that's not how we are, or we should do this, I think might have some traction. And then maybe using fines that are wasting your time, like making you go and work or something like that, because we know everybody has
The interesting thing is, for the time wasting, I feel like those who are more worried about their 1 cedi, 2 cedis can handle the time wasting more than others. Right?
Their time is not money.
Yes, their time is not money.
It's an inconvenience, but we have like something that they can actually pay. So
if their inconvenience is 1 cedi, 2 cedi, take it away from them and let's see if they change.
But then they haven't paid the fine because they've only paid 1 cedi, 2 cedis, right? That's all the money they have, and they haven't paid the fine. So that person won't eat, but he hasn't paid. The fine is more than 2 cedis.
So you know what? It's 17 minutes to the top of the hour, and I think that we need to agree on a mixed bag when it comes to this solution, because you read on your Lee Kuan Yews and you realize how when he was changing attitude, he did it through education and he taught it deliberately. But that we also have grown from a communal system where everyone looks out for the other. It is how African societies are built. So when we place responsibility on people, we should also look up at leadership. But this solution, this conversation is about how solutions are not beyond us as citizens. So please, next time you see me in traffic, I drive a red Duster. Be nice. It's not just me, it's for all of us as well. You're live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM, 16 minutes to the top of the hour. We want to draw the curtains on this part of the conversation. Thank you very much, Ato and Dr. Nefertiti Popolampo. Ato would love the conversation we are going to have next, because he wanted us to talk about littering and sanitation. Well, as part of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign, which we started sometime last year, you were sending us pictures of places that had refuse and had not been collected. This year, anyone has been driving around the town looking for rubbish, and we've been talking to MCEs here and there. Well, we'll take these important messages and we'll come back. When we come back, there's another pile of rubbish that needs to be gathered, that needs to be cleared. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Promo way there, I had there. Sabi gusu yusu mi mumu no. If you say MTN, echima chedi no. Edia two table. Brand new Samsung 65-inch UHD Smart TV. Na brand new 2019 Hyundai. And I feel 3,000 Ghana there. You should go say mono. MTN mumu. Still Misaka. The journey of 1,000 smiles. Yashasya 10 years ago. And to celebrate this milestone, MTN give you away exciting prizes in the MTN Momo Attend promo. Yeah, you use Momo no. You could win one of the 2019 Hyundai i10 cars. Yasama or Samsung Smart TVs for baby. And they up to 3,000 cedis e-cash every month. And a grand prize, 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe in the MTN Momo Attend promo. Into sign it on and they keep using your MTN Momo. Now when it big, if it's August, only on Ghana's best network. Dial *120#. Now check your points. Terms and conditions apply. Just Momo it. We're there for you everywhere you go.
Syndicated Capital introduces the Silent Night range of luxury mattresses and pillows. And for the first time, the Silent Night pregnancy and nursing pillows, crafted to provide exceptional relief for your legs, belly, and back during pregnancy, as well as amazing back support feeding your baby. No more sleepless nights and no more hustle with breastfeeding. Check out the Super Pillow Top Orthopedic Mattress, made with 12 inches of memory foam cushioning, providing unparalleled comfort and guaranteed to last for 20 years. No mattress comes close in comfort and support. Also available are high-quality bird sheets, reversible quills,
a large collection of orthopedic pillows and luxurious towels at unbelievable prices. Silent Night products are available at all Melcom shops, game stores, and Silent Night showrooms at Tema, Asylum Down, Adenta, Spintex Road, and Kumasi behind Menchia Palace. Or call 0302-242532 or 050-131-5776. Silent Night. Sleep like never before.
Ojam, why you make quiet like that?
Oh, Charlie, I'll go do some POP, give somebody where the cornice is not fine, cry.
I always they tell you, see, for decorative roses and cornices, the solution be Interface. Them have different imported cornices and roses in different designs and shapes. Installing them be so easy, and it go give your customer the finishing he wants.
Ojam, take me go Interface right now before I lose this customer.
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at www.interfacelimited.com.
It's our passion, it's our game. Samsung lovers will remain when this football season here. Samsung.
It's football season again, and the Samsung Stadium is packed with so many giveaways. With the Sham like goals, buy a 32-inch satellite TV for 949 Ghana cedis, or the 55-inch ultra high definition for 3,999 Ghana cedis, and get a satellite decoder instantly. Plus other gifts like Bluetooth speakers and even mobile phones. With our twin cooling plus fridge, you win a free microwave, and buying our washing machine gets you a free iron and many other gifts. Take advantage. Score big with the Samsung Soccer Passion promotion. Visit a Samsung store or authorized reseller near you now.
Samsung, our passion, our game.
Joy FM has continued the annual tradition of the Beauty and Bridal Fair, an exhibition filled with everything you need to make your wedding a success. This year will be no different. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center from Thursday, July 11 to Sunday, July 14, 2019 for all wedding-related goods and services, decor, dresses, honeymoon packages, and everything in between. Be part of the marriage seminar and the fashion show on July 14 at exactly 2 p.m. For more information, please contact 024-647-7783 or 054-010-6466. This Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair is brought to you by Joy 99.7 FM and sponsored by Ruby's Bridal, 925 Jewelers, creating treasures for a lifetime. Angels Beauty Supplies, it's all about looks. Yummy yogurt, always different, truly different. GT Bank, wouldn't you rather bank with us? Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair, where your beauty comes alive and your walk down the aisle begins.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Gaga. 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 Gaga.
11 minutes till we wrap up today's Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. So like I said before we went for those messages, we've been talking about keeping our environment clean for a very, very long time. As long as we can find piles of rubbish, we keep talking. And it's not just about going around to look for piles of rubbish, because in Kumasi, our sister stations Love and Inshira FM have been hitting the streets with officials of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to help them issue fines and make sure that people keep their environments clean. We know that over 400 people have been prosecuted in the Accra Metropolitan Assembly alone. The law must still be enforced. And we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. But you want your tickets for I Want Your Wife, the latest Uncle Ibo White play, which is showing this weekend, 13th and 14th of July at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. daily. You can come over to Joy FM, or you can WhatsApp 050-554-6030. I Want Your Wife. Terms and conditions apply. Roverman Productions, be the difference. Your text messages are brought to you by Afrodan, your back must last you a lifetime. Glyco Critical Illness Plan, GSIP. Glyco, we cushion you for life. Afrodan is offering you the most comfortable chair in the world, the Nightingale Extreme Comfort Chair. It has over 10 thoughtfully engineered features, especially customized for your health and comfort. Go to Afrodan on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade and feel this chair. You'll be amazed. Call us on 0302-663-085. Kingdom Books and Stationery now offers a 30-day credits facility with no interest charge. We deliver free within Accra, Tema, and surrounding towns. Call us on 0302-764-101 or 762-307. Visit kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, your number one stop shop for all office essentials, stationery and furniture.
you do my so buano, Nasho, more show, yes, show what, 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 discipline where you the need, go on now, make sure you do weed, now make sure you see a friend in weed is a friend indeed.
As it travels in 6 years this July, we can't thank you enough for your support over the years. It feels good to be at 6, but even awesome when you have great deals to share on your anniversary. For only 6,950 Ghana cedis, you get the chance to fly direct to Dubai on Emirates from 27th July to 3rd August, or enjoy Nairobi and Dubai together on Kenya Airways from 24th to 31st July. Your flight, 4-star hotel, visa tours, and many more are all covered. You asked for a 2 weeks vacation and now you have the chance to experience it for as low as 2,650 Ghana dollars. Covering Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Dubai from 20th August to 3rd September. 2 weeks, 4 countries, and the price of 2,650 Ghana cedis. Adanse Travels, feel life's beauty. Get ready for the biggest gathering of football stars in Accra this year. It even pains me to say this. Anyway, we've lost, but it's great. The Ghana Football Awards comes off on Sunday, the 21st of July 2019 at the Accra Marriott Hotel. Winners of the Ghana Footballer of the Year and many other categories are announced amidst glamour and drama. It's powered by AE Mediacom, Activate 360, and proudly supported by multimedia sponsors like NASCO Electronics. Ghana Football Awards, celebrating the stars of our passion. Now join Chua Thompson and others for the Business Model Innovation Workshop on Tuesday, July 9th, today at the Tomric Hotel, East Legon, so you too can grow and win so much more in your business. If you're coming with someone, you get a discount of 15%. Call 0273 188 533 to register, or just head over to the Tomric Hotel.
Godliness.
Joy FM brings you the Beauty and Bridal Fair from this Thursday to Sunday. Please, when you hear Beauty and Bridal Fair, it's not just for single people. If you are married, you can come to the marriage seminar on Sunday. Uncle Ibo White will be there. Lady Reverend Adelaide Hayward Mills will be there. If you are single, you can just come around and come and shop. Or you can come for the happy hour, which is going to be every evening from 6 p.m. Or just come around and let's have fun. There's a fashion show as well on Sunday. For more information, contact us on 024 64 77783 or 05401 06466. This is the 16th Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair. It's brought to you by your Superstation Joy 99.7 FM and sponsored by 925 Jewelers, creating treasures for a lifetime. Angels Beauty Supplies is all about looks. Yomi Yogurts, always different, truly different. Remember, Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair, where your beauty comes alive and your walk down the aisle begins. All right, it's 5 minutes till we wrap up today's Super Morning Show in Joy 99.7 FM. Before we bring you the sanitation clip, let me ask Atutu in a moment, in a heartbeat, tell us, where do you think the root of the sanitation problem begins?
So I think it's two things. First, lack of infrastructure for dealing with waste management. And then I think second, I think people do not seem to care too much about what littering might cost. So let me give a quick story that might help. Mm-hmm. So I was in Rwanda in 2016, and they talk about how Kigali is very clean. Mm-hmm. Right. So when I was getting there, I was like, okay, are you sure? Like, this is really clean? I want to believe it. And I remember where I was staying at. I had just finished breakfast and I had a banana peel, right? And I was eating the banana as I was going. So when I got outside of the place I was staying at, I was like looking for a bin. Okay. And I mean, if I was in East Legon, I might have put it in the gutter. Okay. So I might have put it in the gutter. So I checked the gutters there, and the gutters were so clean. So the thing that hit me was, this place is so clean, I can't even bring myself to litter it. But if you are in a place in East Legon where the gutter is already littered, you might just do that.
It's like, what difference is this?
So I think, having the infrastructure for people to be able to not litter is important. But I think also, wanting to not litter is also something that people can decide to do. And for me, the other thing around that is also just, telling people not to litter. Because if someone did litter, you could tell him that, what you did is not good, don't do it again. But a lot of Ghanaians will be like, I don't want to say this to someone to get insulted. Mm-hmm. And it stops there, right? So if you get to the point where you're not even worried about getting insulted, then you would do that. And I'm at that point now. Like, even if you insult me, I'll laugh at you, right? So I think, being able to make some of these decisions individually goes far. Because if, you're in a group of people and, all of a sudden the majority are like, do not litter, more people would try to do the same. Mm-hmm. So I think, you just need to have more people do certain things, and it becomes popular, or it becomes, I think once something becomes, more people are doing it, other people want to feel like, I can block off this thought I had about this and do the same thing.
Let me take those thoughts to the Lada de Kotopo Municipal Assembly. He's the acting MCE, has joined us on the line, Mr. Osufrim Pombwedi. And we visited the Peshi Lagoon area very recently and found that the sanitary conditions there are very, very poor. So specifically to that area, Mr. Osufrim Pombwedi, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Frimpong-Bwedi.
Hey, the person is on. Hello.
Is Mr. Frimpong-Bwedi on the line? Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Great. So let's go to the Peshi Lagoon area. You are aware that, there's a big challenge there when it comes to how people dispose of rubbish and how it's developed there. What are your plans for dealing with it?
They dispose of what?
They dispose of waste there. Waste gathers at the Peshi Lagoon area. We have been to your office. We've shown you pictures. You are aware of this challenge. What are we doing about it?
Let's try not to confuse two things. There's debris. We would call it waste. That drifts from the Peshi Lagoon into the sea, which the sea washes back ashore, and we have heaps of it along the shoreline right now. I don't know if that is what you want to address, or you're talking about the disposal of waste by people close to the Peshi Lagoon into the lagoon. Let's get the two clear.
Okay, Mr. Osufrim-Pombwedi.
Yes,
the lagoon is filled with plastic waste. How are we clearing it?
Oh, okay. With this lagoon thing, the simple way out of it is to dredge the place. The plastic waste is already started clearing. In fact, about 2-3 weeks ago, we actually sent a machine there to do something. But the simple way out of solving the problem for good is to dredge the place so that whatever waste that comes, can flow out of the place. Am I?
Yes. Well, so is the machine currently working?
No, it's not currently working.
When are we going back?
We'll go back. It's all money. It's all money, because the little that we did, we had to spend something close to 30,000 just for 7 days or so. So it means that we really have to look for money to be able to do the work. And we are at it. We're looking for money at it.
Okay, so how long will we need to work to clear the place?
I can't tell you offhand. Simply because the engineers will have to, calculate the days. The first one we did, we thought it was going to take 10 days to finish. But luckily, people from the Peshi side, that Teshi side of the lagoon, also came around to do some work and kind of where we actually measured that we would reach the days actually reduced to 7. You know, we can't tell you how long, but it depends on the type of machines that we actually can procure to do the work for us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Osofin from
Are you okay?
for joining us. This is where we have to end the show and the conversation with him. Of course, the conversation on sanitation continues here on the Super Morning Show indefinitely until we see that lagoon cleared and many other areas like that in the city and in the country. Now, though, let me hand you over to Hannah Odame, who brings us the news at the top of the hour. Hello.
Hi, Daniel. Coming up in Joy Headline News at 10, scores of Ghanaians pour out onto the